I'm Gwen, Preston of Resource Maven. We're here at the Metals Investor Forum in Toronto in March, and I'm joined by Keith Henderson of Velocity Minerals. Thanks for joining us at the conference.
Pleasure.
So Velocity, it's been an interesting few months for Velocity. You got a nice investment from Atlantic Gold that's given you the firepower to go out there and really advance the portfolio that you have in Bulgaria. And I wanted to sort of talk about that portfolio a bit. Bulgaria is a really interesting place geologically. I've known quite a few groups who have gone in and wanted to explore in Bulgaria, but they've been stymied by the fact that it's difficult to get exploration projects there. But Velocity has a way around that that's put you in a unique position of being able to do what others wanted to do.
Yeah, it's an upside down kind of mining legislation in a way. It's super hard to get a hold of the prospecting licenses.
Right.
The route from there through to mining is somewhat transparent and fairly easy to navigate, so that's good. So, but yeah, many groups have gone in and tried to get the prospecting licenses and completely failed, or it's taken 2 or 3 years to do so. And 2 or 3 years.
Which is the same as failing, really, 2 or 3 years.
Completely, yeah. For a junior company, that's just the kiss of death. So, so we don't want to go there. So yeah, we've gone in with a partner. That's been our approach. The partner brings us a couple of big advantages. The first is the access to an existing and operating CIL plant. Just as you don't want to wait 2 or 3 years for your properties, you don't want to wait 5 or 10 years for a permit to operate something like that. So it exists and it works, and we have complete access to it. So the next thing is getting a hold of property. And you know, we've been working on Rozino for 18 months, but moving beyond that now, we're moving into 3 other projects this year. These are existing properties. We don't have any lead time to get into them, and they've all got existing resources.
Right.
Resources are 1980s era, Soviet era. The work was well done. There's nothing wrong with it, but they're not the kind of resources that we talk about in 43-101 terms. So obviously we've got to go and replicate the drilling, re-drill it, and try and expand those resources. But we're not grassroots exploration.
Yes.
We're going into properties where we know there's mineralization. That's a huge head start when you're trying to put together a series of satellite deposits that are going to potentially feed a plant. That's just perfect. A really good start.
Right, yeah. So Grupso has, your partner's called Grupso, so they have this portfolio of projects, and you've been able to go through the data and select the ones that look the most exciting to you, and now you're going to go in and hit them. And I think Rozino, just to dwell on that for a moment more, Rozino, your success at Rozino has is probably a model for how this is going to go going forward. Rozino similarly had Soviet-era drilling, had some numbers wrapped around it, but you were able to go in and with more modern approaches, more educated approaches, have been able to really unlock some opportunity there. And hopefully that's going to play out now in the next few that you attack.
Exactly. It's just replicate the model again, do it again. There's nothing wrong with the work that the Soviet-era guys did, but with the benefit of that information, we were able to go to Rozino and more than double their resource in just a 12 or 13-month period, which is pretty amazing. We see the same kind of opportunities. Some of the other projects, either we see the opportunity to simply define what they have, or in some cases, like a Bichnik, they simply weren't explored very much. So a Bichnik is a property with multiple kilometers of alteration. It's got some intrusives in there that look pretty interesting that might be driving the mineralization. And you know, there's only been a few drill holes in there, and it's a big opportunity for us to go in and test a big system and see what we can define. So hopefully Rozino or Rozino plus. Right.
And as you alluded to earlier, defining new deposits is part of feeding into a bigger picture mine plan. So you've already wrapped a very preliminary mine plan around Rozino, a PEA, that already shows that you could produce 65,000 ounces a year for 6 years. That's a great start. But the whole concept is to have more deposits feeding that plant that your partner already has operating.
Yeah, like we want to be relevant, and we want people to notice us. And our aim has always been from the beginning to get to 100,000 ounces per year minimum, and to be able to sustain that over a 10-year period. So yeah, as you say, 65,000 ounces at Rozino is just a start. That was an initial PEA. We're going to be expanding that resource this year. In fact, we drilled in December, and we already hit significant mineralization from surface down to basement outside of those PEA pits. So we know we're going to be able to expand it and then add in the other deposits as well. But so in the next 12 months, that's going to be constant news flow. At the end of this 12 months, we'll be able to look at the entire package and start to understand how it's all going to fit together. Which of these deposits are going to feed into the production profile at what time, so that we can build up that production profile and keep it going.
And this is exactly why, of course, Atlantic invested in Velocity, is that this hub and spoke model that you're developing around the central processing plant in Bulgaria is exactly like what they developed in Nova Scotia.
Yeah, and they've shown it works well in Canada, and there's no reason why it won't work in Bulgaria. So it's just a matter of putting the resources behind it.
Yeah, and now you have the money to go out there and do it. You must be pretty excited about getting on the ground in Bulgaria this year.
We've made plans before, but we didn't always have all of the money, and you sometimes end up having to raise $1 million at a time and do it that way. Having essentially fully funded for a year plus and being able to execute on all these plans is fantastic.
That's exciting. Well, I very much look forward to hearing what the results of that work are. So congratulations, and we'll keep in touch.
Thank you.
Thanks.